Okay, so let's take Roddick's business case on doubles and run with it. If you didn't listen to it, it was on his recent Served podcast. It was around minute 27. So, first off, before I get into this, I want you to know that I am changing my mind on this constantly as I get new information. I'm not somebody who's trying to be stubborn in favor of doubles specialist. I'm honestly taking in all the facts as best I can. I know I am a little biased. And then changing my mind on a consistent basis. Even the US Open Mixed, when it first came out, I was pretty upset about it. And then after I listened to Eric and Stacy on Andy Roddick's podcast, I did change my mind a bit, and I'm glad that they're making changes, even if I don't agree with all of the changes. So I wanted to lead with that. So Roddick basically asked if there's a product that people don't use, has been around for 50 years, and you're the CEO and somebody comes to you and says the data is telling us that people are choosing not to use it, what would you do? So again, listen to the full podcast for all of the context, but I wanted to take this and kind of run with it. So let's say that the tours got a consulting company to come in and look at doubles. They say, look, doubles is part of our product. It's failing. It's a department that's not generating revenue. Maybe they go to McKinsey or Deloitte, some of these big US consulting firms. What they would do is they would look at a few things. So they would look at operations, they would look at the product, and they would look at the marketing. So let's start with operations. So the tournaments generally run pretty smoothly. Looks like you've got the player hotels sorted out, the dining, the transportation. Ticket sales are fine. So the operations looks okay, and it seems to vary from tournament to tournament. You've got a bunch of different organizations and so on, but operations overall, you're doing fine. So let's look at the product. So the product for doubles is two separate products. We can distinguish it into TV versus on-site and watching live. So we'll start with TV. You have to have a streaming service to watch 99% of the doubles matches. Okay, so that's one barrier you have. That's up to you whether you change it or not. And then we'll bring in a focus group to take a look at some of the doubles matches. So we're going to bring in a focus group. We're going to have them watch some doubles matches, and then we're going to have them watch some singles matches. What are they going to notice? Number one, there's rarely announcers on the doubles matches. Okay, so they prefer having announcers. Number two, the cameras are often not great. A lot of times it's way above the court. The far baseline is really narrow and it has this kind of fishbowl effect. So it's really not a great TV experience. So I'd recommend at least fixing that. And if you can get some announcers on board, then do that as well. One person that they did like with the announcing was Renee Stubbs. They seem to like the strategy insights that she delivers. So if you can find more people like that, then you have a pretty good product there. Now, I'm not making this stuff up. I've done 2 surveys with thousands of participants over the last 5 years, and this is exactly what people have told me. It's a small sample size because I don't have a massive audience, but this is what I've found. So let's move on to the other product. On-site. So on-site, what we'll do, Deloitte, we're going to bring some of your people out to Indian Wells for the full tournament, and you can check it out. So this is where I think Roddick, I think John Wertheim, I think maybe even Riley Opelka a bit, they don't know this information, and it's not their fault because they can't go watch the doubles matches at Indian Wells during week 1 especially because they would get mobbed. They're too well known, they're too famous. But the last 5 years I've been to Indian Wells, and this is what I do. I sit on courts 4, 5, and 6 among tons of fans at these doubles matches. And what the people from Deloitte, McKinsey, whatever, are going to find is these stadiums are packed through week 1 through Sunday on 4, 5, and 6. Indian Wells gets a little cool at night, so maybe the nighttime crowds are a little lighter. Same for singles. And then week 2, we do have a bit of a problem. But during that middle weekend, during late week 1, Thursday to Sunday, there's something there. The fans are really enjoying the doubles. It's 1 in, 1 out at a lot of these doubles matches because the stadiums are a lot smaller than Stadium 1, Stadium 2, even Stadium 3, which is primarily singles. So there's something there. There's a product here. The fans seem to be liking it. They're cheering. They want to get in. They're staying in so they don't lose their seat. you've got something there. So that's the product. Let's move on to the marketing. So what they might say is, okay, let's look at the marketing for doubles for 3 recent tournaments. I've been to 3 recent tournaments, and I actually did this. So I looked at their Instagram and Twitter profiles on Thursday. These are 1-week tournaments. So I looked at them on Thursday, 4 days into the tournament. And there had been over 500 posts on Twitter and Instagram from all 3 of these tournaments combined. There had been 0 doubles match highlights. There had been 0 scores posted about doubles. And there was 1 doubles player interview by a local doubles player. So McKinsey or Deloitte is going to come in and say, well, you're not doing any marketing. Now, the one thing I'm not positive on is if this has been done in the past. Obviously, we're in a different age of social media, but I don't know if maybe 2005 to 2010, I didn't follow the tours closely then. Maybe they marketed doubles a lot then. And if somebody shows me that, then I'll definitely change my stance. But I don't believe that they've put a full effort into this, especially with the modern technology and the social media. So McKinsey and Deloitte are going to look at that and say, well, you're not doing any marketing for it, so why should the product do well? Now, of course, marketing is not the only answer. There's tons of different things we can do with the product, tons of things the players can do to market themselves better. But this is what I believe a consulting firm would come through and find with the doubles product. So what would their recommendation be? And aside from the social media commercials, they would look at billboards, they would look at signage, they would look at emails. Doubles is very, very much non-existent in those areas of marketing. So the recommendation I think that they would make is you either need to invest in the doubles tour, and you can do that in a number of ways. You can get your existing single stars to come in, which the US Open is doing with mixed. You can start to invest in marketing, which most tournaments have not done yet. There's a lot of different ways to attack this. Or you should just sell that part of your business and give it to someone else who does want to spend the time investing in it. So that's my take. I've got a longer podcast that I'm going to be releasing soon, where I kind of dive deeper into this conversation, kind of analyzing some of the takes that Opelka and Roddick and Wertheim have had. I think they all are entitled to their opinion. I have a little bit different one. I don't dislike those guys. I'm not here trying to get into a yelling match. I'd actually love to have any of them on my podcast and have kind of a friendly debate. But that is my take, and hopefully it delivers at least a little bit of new information and helps you kind of change your mind in this ongoing doubles debate.